the first half, they get this pick. Tom Brady puts on the big coat, takes it off, comes back in the game, and delivers this dime to Scotty Miller in the end zone. And again on Kevin King, who will be victimized throughout the day. Jalen, watching this game, what did you think about Tom Brady and the Bucs' performance?
Like, man, change clothes and go. Because they was going to punt it first, right? And then they called timeout. And they drew up that play. And it was kind of similar to what Mike Evans did earlier in the game, except he took this one all the way to the end zone. And you right, they was picking on King all game.
Yep.
I even called my Fab Five brother Jimmy. I was like, yo, he misrepresenting the name today. He misrepresenting the name today, dog. And that play, I believe, was the game-changing, momentum-building play that actually led to Tampa going on to win this game, in particular, the way Brady struggled in the second half.
Brady did struggle in the second half through some interceptions, but it was also the Buccaneers defense that needs to be celebrated today because it was JPP. And it was the big guy in the middle. And then it was also Shaq Barrett getting after Rodgers. And so much is going to be made of some of the decisions that were made late in the game, and we'll get to those. But I think that not enough people are giving flowers to this defensive unit that did a good job at shutting down the soon-to-be MVP and that Packers offense and limiting Adams. And, of course, Jones got injured, but limiting him and getting the ball loose from him before he was injured. What do you think about the Buccaneers' defensive effort?
And also, you got to give credit to Todd Bowles because here's the thing, Jacoby, about that defense, right? Shaq Barrett was an elite high number sack guy last year. So he had already been balling before Brady arrived. How about JPP? What he's overcome? Had an accident around the 4th of July a few years ago and basically blew off a couple of his fingers. And he's still playing professional football, getting sacks, leading the team to the Super Bowl. So you're exactly right. We're going to make it about the quarterback position because it's the glamorous spot. But that defense and those big boys was getting after it yesterday. They needed it too because they had to carry Brady in the second half. Total team victory.
Well, they always use the term Monday morning quarterback, and it's because of decisions like this. Let's listen to the Packers quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, about his head coach taking the ball out of his hands in a key 4th and goal in the 4th quarter. Here's Aaron Rodgers.
I look over the sideline, I see, 5 big guys around the field. There's a lot of gymnastics that has to happen to get us, to be able to go for it there. But, and I don't know. That decision was made, and we moved on.
Jalen, in the moment when they made the decision to kick the field goal, what did you think?
Jacoby, it was all good just a week ago. I was extremely conflicted because I did see them really struggle, in particular Rodgers to Adams, time and time again in the red zone, not be able to connect. And it was just the opposite the entire season. So I understood. I get it. I understand why you want to kick the field goal. I get it. You want to get it to 5. And then all of a sudden, if we score, we win the game. And we go on to the Super Bowl. But if you're the CEO of that situation as the head coach, Jacoby, as I sit back and I look at all the variables involved, I think about how even though Aaron Rodgers is a superstar player, it seems like they don't necessarily give him the cachet that he deserves within the organization. And I don't like to see sad Aaron Rodgers at the press conference. I like to see Aaron Rodgers talking about a heavy pour of scotch.
Yes, how many fingers of scotch?
And it's like, wait a minute. Y'all ain't on the phone with Aaron Rodgers talking to him about what y'all gonna do with y'all first round pick? Aaron Rodgers can't decide if gymnastics between 3rd and 4th down is gonna happen? Like, wait a minute, he didn't know? He thought that they was gonna have 4 downs? And so that's probably why he didn't run it in earlier as opposed to taking that risk. And so Jacoby, as I really think back at all of this, Matt LaFleur should have put it in Aaron Rodgers' hands. So therefore, if Aaron Rodgers don't come through, he be the person getting the blame. But since he didn't and they didn't, now Aaron Rodgers is going to be a hero in this movie.
I like that.
That's how you think.
I like that you brought it up because you said CEO. That brings me into the corporate world. And in the corporate world, you just want to make sure that you're not the one to blame. If LaFleur left Aaron Rodgers on the field and Aaron Rodgers then throws another incomplete pass and they turn the ball over and lose the game, now it's on Aaron Rodgers. But one of the reasons that I believed he actually kicked that field goal was the ineptitude of Aaron Rodgers that brought them to that point. You mentioned his connection with Devontae Adams around the goal line. They had one possession where they tried Devontae Adams on 3 straight plays and couldn't connect to him once. And you saw the 3 previous plays, they weren't close to scoring on first down and second down and third down. So you're looking at fourth down, not from the 2, not from the 4, not from the 5. It's from the 8-yard line. Like, you look at these plays, these are not near misses. Like, these are throws that aren't even close. And then the one where he should have ran it in. Watch this, completely covered. This is a double, throwing it into double coverage here. Like, I understand why he kicked it. The problem with kicking it is this. If you kick it, you have to get a stop to win the game. If you don't kick it, you have to get a stop to win the game. Might as well go for it on fourth down.
But if you're the Green Bay Packers and your goal is to play boss versus worker to Aaron Rodgers, then you got to continue and allow that to play itself out. Allow him, like you just said, to come up short on fourth down, and then now people probably question Aaron Rodgers not getting it done. They'll say, well, Tom Brady, when he had his fourth down in the first half, him and Bruce Arians was on the same page. Bruce said that he allowed him to coach now. They ain't allow him to do that to New England. And he trusted his guy, and his guy came through to Scotty Miller deep. So now you ain't trusting your guy. So if that was their goal when you draft somebody in the first round, Jacoby, and you're not allowing him to make the decision whether you're going to go for it or not, that was their chance to go ahead and let him fail. They didn't do it. So now anybody like me, absolutely. So now it's like we're looking at the coach and not the player because he should have gave Aaron Rodgers that chance, Jacoby. Tom Brady gonna get a first down. On the first play, they got 9 yards. So I know in your head is like, he said
2 minute warning,
we got three touchdowns, we got 3 timeouts, we got the 2 minute one. I know that sounds good. But Tom Brady needs 1 first down.
He's going to get a first down. Well, you know that I'm a lifelong diehard member of Bills Mafia, and the Bills ran into a buzzsaw that was the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what happened? Better football team, better football players. It was just that simple. That's what it looked like in the night game between the Bills and the Chiefs. What did you see from the Super Bowl champions?
I see what I've been saying all year. Anybody that's watched this show, look, the Kansas City Chiefs are in fast forward. Did you see the cheetah yesterday?
You can't tackle him. You can't catch him. He's too fast.
Did you see the cheetah yesterday?
He's too fast.
Like, seriously, man. Like, and Kelsey, what about those hands and how he glides in the open field and sheds tackles? And then Mahomes. Hardman muffed the play and it led to a score at the beginning of the game. They probably was like, good, now we got to pass every time. Yeah, now we got to pass every time. They love coming from behind. Andy Reid just loves dialing up pass plays. Eric Bieniemy like, oh, all these head coaching jobs got filled, and y'all don't want, I'm over. See, that's what happens, Jacoby. I can't front. Sometimes when you look like me, people feel like, oh, now when I'm overqualified, people don't want to give me top dollar. Now look at the Super Bowl. You got Brian Leftwich on one side, and you have 2 black offensive coordinators. So the Kansas City Chiefs are in fast forward. I agree with you. The better football team won. But what about your Bills Mafia, your lifetime membership? How are you dealing with this disappointment? You found a way to attach your love to a situation, and it came up short. How do you feel?
It didn't. It did not come up short. This was a successful season for me and the Bills Mafia. And you know what? I'm not leaving the Bills Mafia. I'm staying with the Bills for another season because this is what you have to do. You have to get to the precipice, and then you get over it. This was a great season. 2 home playoff victories for the Buffalo Bills. That hasn't happened in a quarter century. That is an extremely successful season. How dare you mention this team came up short? They did not come up short. You do not have to win a championship or bust. That is not how the world works. There is nothing wrong with going to the AFC Championship and losing to a better football team. And you mentioned Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, the 2 combined for 22 catches and about 300 yards. It just seemed like whenever you needed it, Hill will get you 20 yards. Whenever you need it, Kelsey's going to be wide open for a first down. Like, those two are just unstoppable. Patrick Mahomes using those type of weapons. And you mentioned McCole Hardman muffing the punt. They basically spotted the Bills 10 points. They missed the extra point, so it was 9 points. But even at that point, this wasn't a great game from Josh Allen. It really wasn't. And low-key, Josh Allen didn't have a great game all playoffs long, but I think that this experience of getting to the AFC Championship game will be key for these Bills. Look at Josh Allen. Like, why are you running 25 yards backwards and getting sacked?
Well, they got the honey badger on the blitz.
Why are you running 25 yards backwards?
Frank Clark, University of Michigan. You saw him with his Joe Namath fur coat on post-game. You got 5 guys in the backfield. You see, like, get off